president left the airport this afternoon hoping he had done enough as he stumped for Democrats and specifically Oregon gubernatorial candidate Tina Kotek. Now, Republican rivals spent the time criticizing the campaign visit. One final farewell to Oregon ahead of the midterms as President Joe Biden walked up the stairs to board Air Force One, leaving Portland. The commander-in-chief was on the campaign trail Saturday, pushing for his fellow Democrats in a race as tight as ever for Oregon's next governor. Taking out his cash for Tina Kotek's ice cream cone today in Gresham as he talked up the candidate to reporters.
I think she's going to win. I really do. I think people are going to show up and vote. I think it's going to work.
Are you nervous about the third-party candidate?
Well, she takes it seriously, but, you know, who gets nervous, right?
That question about third-party unaffiliated candidate Betsy Johnson, and Kotek is also trying to fend off her Republican rival, Christine Drazan, as Republicans in Congress criticize the president's visit, saying the trip spells trouble.
Full surprise are calling him the president because his policies have been disastrous.
Yet, an enthusiastic crowd of supporters welcomed him to the East Portland Community Center. He discussed impacts of the Inflation Reduction Act, which he signed this summer. And Senator Jeff Merkley talked about the impact to Oregonians.
Out-of-pocket cap of $2,000 for all our seniors. That is 20,000 Oregon seniors who will benefit with that cap, who went over that $2,000 last year.
The president is pumping up his administration's policies in a final parade around Portland.
I've been doing this a while, man. I tell you, I've never been more optimistic.
It was an amazing experience. I mean, President Biden was on. He was inspiring. It really was amazing to be in the room with him.
No.
A couple hundred Democratic volunteers got the chance to hold a phone bank with President Joe Biden tonight, who's in town for the next 14 hours.
Fairly certain that he's staying at a hotel here downtown, and let me show you why. You know, we're here at the Dunaway on Taylor Street. We're actually a couple blocks away, though, because they've got a 1 to 2 block radius around the Dunaway closed off, and they've used actually these Peabody dump trucks to block off the roads, as well as a lot of Portland police officers out here. So it's very, very well guarded tonight. So we're fairly certain this is where President Biden is spending the night in the Rose City. But earlier, he was at a phone bank event at a union office in Southeast Portland, trying to help out Democratic candidates here in Oregon. President Biden's motorcade pulled up to the SEIU Local 49 office in Southeast Portland at around 7 o'clock Friday. Portland police and other law enforcement from neighboring agencies were out in force all around the building. Inside, President Biden wasted no time saying exactly why he was in Portland.
This is, I think, the most important off-year election that we've had since Roosevelt's time. I mean that sincerely, because so much is at stake.
A couple hundred volunteers, campaign staff, and union members all met to hear him speak, then make calls stumping for Democratic candidates, including gubernatorial candidate Tina Kotek. Biden helped make calls to voters, and even shared some of their donuts. Michael Redoute snapped a quick selfie to document what for him was a historic moment.
It was pretty emotional. I've never seen a president like that before. Just to be, so close. And
Smitha Chadaga, a hospital physician of almost 20 years, was there and says Biden really hit home to them the importance of the midterm elections in Oregon.
The midterms are more important than ever. He really emphasized talking about abortion rights, talking about health care. Those are things that are near and dear to my heart. I'm doing a lot of volunteering, and I was inspired to do more.
And about an hour later, at 8 p.m., President Biden and his entourage left the Union Hall for his hotel.
We're just a few hours away from the president's arrival. Behind me is the East Portland Community Center, where Biden is expected to speak around noon today. You can see people are already lining up outside. And when we arrived here a couple hours ago, Secret Service was sweeping the parking lot. And you can see they've put these gates up across the street right next to these residential areas. Biden landed in Portland yesterday to attend a volunteer event for Tina Kotek's campaign for governor. Today, he's expected to speak on reducing costs for American families. On his tour in California, he talked about his work to lower health care and prescription drug costs under the Inflation Reduction Act. We spoke with people on what they hope the president will talk about today.
They're hiring the rent and just not manageable to maintain their place, a lot of eviction. So I feel like that's a really important topic that he needs to address. Hopefully he can address and like give us like a direction as to where that's going.
I think it's cool and exciting that he's coming, and I think having a presence here will be good.
K2 News confirmed Biden is joining U.S. Senator Ron Wyden for the town hall event today. And at 1:45, Biden is expected to attend a reception for Tina Kotek. By 2:50, the president will be back in Air Force One and will leave from PDX. We'll, of course, have ongoing coverage on air and online throughout the morning and the rest of the day as the president arrives.
Hey, Savannah, I know you mentioned that there are a lot of Secret Service sweeping the area. Are there any supporters of President Biden showing up? Are they even able to get that close to the building?
So it looks like right now pretty much people are lined up outside. As I said, Secret Service was here earlier, so it was pretty heavy, but they've kind of cleared out a little bit, just some lingering officers and some of these gates that are still up. We did speak with some supporters and people throughout the last couple days that have kind of talked about issues that they hope Biden will address. Abortion is one topic, as well as gas and grocery prices. Also that student loan application that is we're still waiting on more information on that. So there are a variety of things that people are concerned about. So he'll have a lot to talk about today, it seems like.
A lot's on the table, a busy midterm. Thanks so much, Savannah. I know a lot of us are wondering, too, where he's going to go next in the previous stops. He has showed up at some local restaurants, so we know he likes ice cream. Maybe he'll make another stop at Salt and Straw. Thanks so much, Savannah. Okay, as she mentioned, the president is going to depart out of Air Force One in Air Force One out of PDX at 2:50 this afternoon. So there are expected road closures around the airport in the time leading up to his departure. So if you are flying out of PDX this afternoon, this goes without saying, but make sure you get there early. You are going to encounter some traffic. You can also check out Portland Police's Twitter for road closures in real time. And TriMet 2 is warning people to expect delays on the Max Red Line between the airport and Gateway from 2 to 4 this afternoon, of course, right around the time he's taken off. Max and bus services will also be disrupted downtown through as late as 6 this evening. Now that's due to security for President Biden's visit. Meanwhile, Republican leaders are reacting to the president's visit with criticism. Some Republicans are claiming that Biden's visit is an attempt to save the Democratic candidates' campaigns, which they say are failing.
Sending the president in right before the election, and that only means one thing, and that's that they recognize they're in trouble.
Price are calling in the president because his policies have been disastrous.
But Tina Kotek is not the only candidate getting special visitors. Her Republican opponent, Christine Drazan, has been visited on the campaign trail by Maryland's Republican Governor Larry Hogan. She will also be getting a visit from Virginia's Governor Glenn Youngkin. We asked why that support should be seen differently than the president's.
Those governors aren't the president of the United States, and the party in power only sends the president to states where they are concerned that they're going to lose.
Now, we have reached out to the Oregon House and Senate Democrats, but have not received a response quite yet. Non-affiliated candidate for Governor Betsy Johnson is taking a different approach. She posted a video on social media welcoming President Biden to Oregon.
While you're here, could you please have a chat with Tina and other local officials, especially our Multnomah County DA, Mike Schmidt, about prosecuting people that are breaking the law and actually holding criminals accountable?